Good evening and welcome to Red, Right, and True. My name is Joe Curry. Thank you for joining us tonight. And tonight we have Mark White zooming in. We also have our guest Mike Keegan, and we also have our guest Keith Fitz.
What's going on, everybody?
How's it going? You know what? Also, I have to explain something. Bonnie and the Patriot box aren't here with us tonight. If I could explain, if you could bring up asset 1, and we'll explain. That's asset 2, but that's asset what? Yeah, stop! Stop! Halt! That's Bonnie. Bonnie cannot be here tonight. She is bringing up her own line of cosmetics. It's the Bonnie line, and she'll be on QVC tonight at 12 selling that. Now, as for the Patriot box, if you bring up asset 2 where the Patriot box could be, very sad. Well, let me explain what happened. He got in a bit of trouble. And if you could put it back there, we need to explain that on asset 2. We need to see what actually happened. He was incarcerated. Apparently, he got a hold of some box wine, and he got a little drunk. And we'll be bailing him out. We'll work up the money to get him out, and he should be here next week. But we got 3 gentlemen here, and we are going to have a great show tonight. I'd like to start off with our asset number 3, which is explaining democratic socialism, which I find is in asset 3. Please, Booth, and we'll bring that right up.
If you did your research, you would probably call yourself a democratic socialist too. Democratic socialism is about expanding democracy into the economy. It's a democracy that works for the working people, not corporations or the wealthy. It means we're not just voting for political leaders, but we also have a say in how wealth and resources are distributed. It means that basic human rights like housing, healthcare, transit, energy should be run for public benefit, not for profit. It means private enterprises can still exist, but essential basic needs shouldn't be left to the market alone. Democratic socialism is a mix of public and private ownerships. I don't understand where the disconnect is.
It's called common sense.
Yes.
You can't be that stupid. Mark, what do you think? They can't be. They're insane.
Let me tell you what it is. The people who are working are going to now take care of the people who live in their mom's basements.
Yeah. Absolutely, and we got a lot more of this. I mean, it's just, and she's so smug about it.
Yeah.
That she's never done her research on this. She's just seen what she saw in the internet or a talking point. Going, I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna say what I think. Okay, very good, stupid. Yeah.
She's an idiot parrot.
Oh my God!
Just literally doesn't understand common sense.
No.
Like you said, you end up running out of other people's shit.
Yeah, and she doesn't understand that, and it's like business can't run anything.
Yeah.
You know. So bear with me while I fix this. And like I said, our guest today is Mike Keegan. And basically, before we get to Mike, just want to a sad note. Lindsey Graham passed away. And he passed away over the weekend. I got kind of in trouble. I made a comment. Like I said, I'm a conservative Republican, but he was supposed to be on Face the Nation on Sunday, and I posted that he was going to be on Face the Lord. And I had some guy write to me and go, he did a lot of good, and are you a moron? Yeah. You see where I'm sitting right now? Exactly. I see a sickle and a hammer behind me. People are morons. But basically what happened, he had an aortic dissection, which is the tear in an inner layer of the main artery, and then he was gone. It was a shame. But basically, he had a great political career. He was in office for 3 decades, entering the House of Representatives in 1995 before being elected to the U.S. Senate 2002. He's been on the Budget Committee. He's done military service, 33 years in the U.S. Air Force. So it's a very shame. Rest in peace, sir, and thank you for being a patriot and helping out the cause. Now we have Our very special guest, Mike Keegan. Mike Keegan is one of my good pals, a very funny comedian. People out there we met in a very unique way at, I don't know if Anthony Cumia of Anthony Cumia's show and Opie and Anthony and WABC had a big party one day.
That was a
one
fun
night.
day.
It was a fun, yeah, it was a fun day. And at about, 3:30 in the morning, this man, to my over here, comes stumbling out of the pool in his underwear. And then Anthony Cumia said, "Who brought you here?" And he responded, "Joe Curry." And then I had to adopt him.
I had not even yet spoken to Joe Curry in my life. I knew that you and Ant had grown up together, so I somehow had the wherewithal after a full bottle of Patron to say, "Joe Curry brought me here. That's your friend."
And I got to tell you, I never met him. So they were all my friends, all our pals were in the pool, and they're busting my chops. And I'm like, I don't know this guy. I worked with him a month later. Did we work together?
Yeah, about a month later.
And some of my friends go, "Oh, you work with that guy in the pool." And I go, and he's a great guy, and he's been a very good friend for a while. Basically, I got a couple of things to ask you. How has being a conservative in this business affected you? Has it? We're going to touch on that one thing where it did, but how is it? Right? Because there's some people that don't want to work with me.
I've definitely experienced that. It kind of evens out where I do have people that work with me just because, like, I'll get a lot of private gigs that want to hire a conservative comic, like a lot of Republican clubs or Elks Lodges and stuff like that. But I know certain bookers that absolutely will not use me just because of my politics.
I had one booker that I had a gig. Just phone rang. I had a gig for an hour, and the booker called back and said, the guy doesn't want to use you because your political views.
Yeah.
And I was and I go, is it my political views that I post? Is it this show? Is it on stage? I'm on this show. I host a show. I've been a stand-up comic. If you go to see me and think I'm walking out and it's going to look like the beginning of Patton, you're sadly mistaken. I touch on politics 3 minutes, if that, in my act, but people see what I post. And as Bonnie say, we post the truth, we talk the truth, and then there's people that have a very big problem with that. And I don't care. And I've had people till this day, two of my friends go, this guy doesn't want to work with you, and that guy doesn't. And I go, well, number one, I don't care because I'm speaking the truth. And number two, they're bigoted that if they don't like my views, and they're saying, that's almost like saying, well, I'm not going to work with somebody because they're black. I'm not going to work with somebody because they're Latino.
Exactly.
I'm not going to work with somebody because I don't agree with their views. They're being bigoted.
It speaks to their character, really, because it's like you said. I very, very rarely touch on politics in my act, and these are bookers that ask me to send a tape, and they also give us guidelines on what we can talk about. If they say don't touch on politics, I'm not going to. But my act is autobiographical. I talk about myself. I don't talk about politics, and they see that in the tapes that I send. But they just have such hatred because of the way that we feel and their bigotry and their.
And it's doing a disservice. There was one.
Okay.
There was one. Key, have you had that problem? Oh, I'm sorry, Mark. You going to say something?
I just wanted to know, do they say the same thing to liberal comics, that you can't talk about politics?
Absolutely not.
No.
Those bookers, absolutely not. And the things that they say are full of hatred. If I go up and I say the political stuff that I do, you can't even tell what side I'm on. I make fun of everything. And these liberals, they go up and spew hatred, and they think it's funny, and they ask them to do stuff like that.
The bookers for the liberals
Are
want them to
people
talk
laughing?
that.
I'm sorry?
Are people laughing at this, or like is it cringy? Because
No,
the
it's
people on the left are usually really cringy.
It's cringy, and their audience doesn't have a sense of humor. They're not people that have sense of humor. Is anybody that would actually be entertained with that stuff?
And it's interesting because a booker that you
That's
worked
funny.
for on Friday night lit me at 20 minutes on a show I was doing because she didn't like what I said. And what the joke was, I said, I'm not keeping up with everything going on. The joke was, at the toy show, they had the world's first transgender doll. And I go, I'm having a hard time putting myself around this because we're going from G.I. Joe to G.I. Don't Know very quickly. Well, you're laughing because our little friend lit me and hauled me off stage.
Yeah.
I was doing 30 at 20, and I go, I don't like what you said. I go, but the audience did.
Then don't
Right.
book comedy.
Then don't book comedy. You know,
Yeah.
and it's just a shame and that person is like, there's people that don't want to work with you. Well, you want to know something? That's a problem.
Yeah.
Because you know what? When I go to a show, let's see, to me, it's a party, it's a hang. They're there to have a very good time. I don't come with an agenda.
Exactly.
I don't storm up in a Jeep with the Joe Perry. Bully, let's go and do a comedy show. Where's the liberals? Have them destroyed. What would you like? That's a liberal water. I will not drink from that. It's like they got to stop. It's getting crazy on that. But you dated somebody that was a liberal. What was that like?
I was a nightmare of 8 years, but no, it was. You know what it is? And in the beginning of the relationship, it was a little bit rough, and then we just kind of both thought that each other were nut jobs because I was far here, she was far there, and it worked out for a little while. But then she just took it too far. Especially after the second time Trump got elected, and she got all her cricket friends in her ears, and that's when she really just went off the deep end. And
yeah, they get
Was she crying?
oh yeah, oh absolutely.
Yeah,
they get
Good.
Yeah, exactly. But she listens to all the birds chirping in her ear. And
yeah, it's all they react on emotion.
Yeah.
And that's a problem. And you call them out that they're acting on emotion. It's not emotion. It's not emotion.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, that's fine. But it gets crazy. You can't reason with them.
Yeah.
And sometimes
I
it's
take
a problem.
very few things seriously, and I would joke around, and my jokes would be over the top.
Right.
When it's just the two of us. There.
Hold that thought. We will be right back in 2-3 minutes. We'll see you then.
All right.
Most people think they have options when searching for the best deals when they travel. But here's the shocking truth. 100% of the major travel agencies are owned by just two entities, Expedia and Booking Holdings. They claim to offer the lowest rates, but due to the hotel rate parity agreement, they all have the same pricing, limiting genuine competition. When you book through these sites, you act as your own travel agent, but the profits are going to organizations that don't support our patriot values. We cannot allow that to continue. So, we decided to make travel great again by starting a US-based travel membership platform, mypatriottravel.com. We are patriots helping patriots. Together, we can disrupt the travel industry by not spending our hard-earned dollars supporting the radical left. For just $29.99 per month, you gain access to true wholesale rates on travel, saving you on average 35% and up to 65%. Book as often as you like, with no limits. Keep your hard-earned dollars in your pocket and spend them on things you need and want to support. Go to mypatriottravel.com/TAFW and grab your membership today. mypatriottravel.com/TAFW. Making travel great again.
Are you a true American? Then it's time to get connected. Download the America First Media and Television app and stay up to date with real news, bold voices, and live events from the America First Warehouse. From national broadcasts and exclusive shows to comedy nights, concerts, and special events. It's all right at your fingertips. No filters, no spin, just America First. Download the America First Media and Television app today and be part of the movement.
I'm sure you guys remember the platinum single, Justice for All, with Donald Trump and the J6 Prison Choir. Well, get ready for round 2. We're coming out with Anthem of the Free with High Res and the J6 Prison Choir. It's coming out now. It's pre-sale until December 19th when it drops. Get yours on all platforms, Google Play, Apple iTunes. Get it. It's going to be hot.
Justice for all, our voices ring. The anthem of the free.
It's me, Joe the Box, the America First Warehouse, most patriotic venue in all the land.
The America First Warehouse, a beacon for all to see. A symbol of unity. For the patriots of America, we stand tall and free. In the America First Warehouse, where our hearts will always be.
Welcome back to Red, Right, and True. We got Mark White zooming in. We have Keith Fitz, and we also have Mike Keegan here. And before we left, this question, Mike actually had a situation where he got banned from a venue. And I'd like you to talk about that, because basically it is definitely a free speech issue on that, and something that when we speak our minds, there are, I wouldn't say consequences, but there are certain things that we need to fight for.
What happened was there was a theater I'd performed at, a couple of times, and I actually hadn't been there in a year when at the time this happened. It was a theater in Port Jefferson. It wasn't theater 1, 2, or 4. It was one of the somewhere in between. But I hadn't been there in a while, and I made a tweet, and it was a throwaway tweet that I didn't even remember that I tweeted.
What was the tweet? I think it was about Greta Thunberg.
It was about Greta Thunberg. It was I feel bad for Greta Thunberg because after the Democrats are finished exploiting her, they're going to ship her off to Epstein Island. That was the joke.
Hysterical.
I thought it was kind of funny, and then I didn't even remember that I had posted it, but I guess one of their
Theater 3 did.
Theater 3 did. I guess one of their owners had complained, or management saw it, and they didn't call me directly. They just put a post on their Facebook page, which went kind of viral, that due to Mike Keegan's insensitive comments, he will never step foot on the stage at the theater again, and blah blah blah. And then a lot of people started commenting and support and bashing me also. But it turns out, the booker said, you can't work there anymore. But it kind of got pretty big, and Newsday ended up interviewing me. There was an article in Newsday about it. So they interviewed me.
What?
And Newsday called me up. There was an interview there. And what happened was I wrote a response to, because I had nothing to hide. And at the time, my girlfriend was an attorney, so I showed it to her. She's like, "No, you can't send them this." But she kind of tweaked it for me.
What was it? What you were telling them on things they could do on their own free time with themselves?
Pretty much.
You got to throw baby powder on that, dude. Yeah, I read what you wrote. I mean, you did.
But what happened was the Newsday had reached out to the theater, and they just wouldn't comment on it. So I'm like, who's right or wrong? They won't comment on it because they know that they're wrong. They were getting bashed too. And the worst part is, if they don't want me to perform there, that's their place. If they don't like what I say, it's their business. It's a business decision. But what I found out was that they were calling other theaters on Long Island to tell them not to book me. A friend of mine books another theater in Northport, and he had told them that he was going to put me on the show. And the owner of that theater called him and said, "Hey, we're going to have a problem with this guy." And that other theater called us up and said he's bad news and he's very right-wing and outspoken. I'm like, so he said, "No, you're not going to have a problem with him. He's very funny." I did the show, I killed, and did great, didn't mention politics at all. The owner of the theater was there, and he goes, "Yeah, I didn't have anything to worry about." But
yeah.
they're trying to take work away from us because of some opinions that we have.
Yeah. Also, I had a thing on my old show. I was on the show for 12 years, Davin's Den. Yeah. And what happened was, right in the beginning of the new year, they posted something about Rachel Good.
Okay.
And, Rachel Good is a hero, and she's a role model. And I go, Rachel Good shouldn't have been there. Rachel Good was an instigator. Rachel Good should have been with her children. And I go, good riddance. Okay. Now, I posted that on a friend of ours' page. And my former co-host, and who I love dearly, we're still very good friends, but he called me and said, "We don't celebrate the death of people." And I go, what? We don't celebrate people die. And I go, what are you talking about? Now, what the problem was...
We just kill them. We just kill them. They don't shoot at them.
What the situation is that he has a project. As a matter of fact, I was out there. He was doing a special, and they're doing a cartoon animated thing on scammers. He's got a lot invested in this, okay? I have nothing against them. I went out. It was him and this other comic doing their specials. I'm emceeing everything, and then I'm doing the Q&A for our show. So I'm out there. They were very nice people. But it's getting to the point where he goes, the cartoonist had a problem with some things you say. I go, well, tell the cartoonist to draw himself a cliff and jump off of it. I don't know. Now here's
That's a good one.
But here's the thing. What struck me that he had a march in a narrative with this production company. I said, why don't we go on the show and we discussed this. And if you've seen the show, it's been like Dodge. I mean, we love each other, but it's Dodge City sometimes.
Yeah.
I go, it'll make for great radio. It'll make good. No. No. So it got to the point where he goes, well, you know, you can't stop saying the things you're saying. I go, I can't. Why? Because I have an allegiance here. Yeah. So it came down. It came down to the fact that I have an allegiance here. He has an allegiance to that production company, and you know it is what it is. But it was for an item that I consider free speech. It was a joke. I even had an argument with my therapist over that. She said, "Tell us why you left the show." And I explained, "Well, yeah, she had every right to be there. I know she did not, you know." And it's like, yeah.
Wow.
And look, you know me for years. You know, now I'm starting to go into debate mode, and I'm like, now I got to back off from going into debate mode because you know why? I got to find reasons to stick with my girlfriend for 13 years, and I got to argue about what am I going to do next? How do you feel about the Strait of Hormuz? I don't know. Why do you want it closed? You know, leave me alone. You know?
Oh my God! I want to talk about why I wasn't hugged as a child. No.
Right.
Yeah, it's crazy. And my girlfriend warned me. She goes, "You're going to talk about that when you go." And I go, "They're very liberal," and they were. But
so what about now?
Sorry.
What about now? Are you guys still getting hammered now from the liberal left comedians who aren't funny?
Yeah, a little bit, but it's eased up because it seems to have come back around because they just started getting too radical and starting to eat themselves. So now the Democratic comedians are at war with the far left liberals, and they kind of come towards our side the more center they are.
You know why? Because they're getting censored too. We've seen it, politically, where you've got Hakeem Jeffries, you've got Letitia James. Yeah. We'll also be discussing AOC in the next segment. How they're coming under fire from the far radical left. Them.
Yeah.
And if you think it doesn't transition to entertainment where you have the far left and the middle of the road Democrats not going after each other, you know, you got another thing coming. Now the thing about Greta Thunberg, and this is the interesting thing about Greta Thunberg, okay, they were so brilliant having her as a spokesman at a climate conference. Because the thing about it is, if you had a professor or a scientist in a white smock, and he was, well, you know, climate change, no, there's evidence out there that it is not happening. The father of climate change said, you know what, I was wrong. And all of them are being funded by the government, so they better say what they need to say to get the narrative. Yeah. But if we put in an autistic teenage girl that has two parents that are actors that coached her and gave her this script. And autistic people, they get very locked. It's not a slam. It's I've done research on this. Autistic people get very locked in onto a topic. And if you get on there and she gets
hyper-focused is the word.
Hyper-focused. Thank you very much. And if you get on there and you're in front of those cameras and you say anything to the contrary, how dare you? How dare you say anything against this girl that's concerned? I guess you don't like people that have autism. I guess you don't like it was brilliant.
Right. You're a man and you're ripping apart this child. No, she was coached and they're using her as a puppet.
Yeah.
And that was the point of my tweet also.
Yeah.
You know?
And actually, when that happened, I go on my old show and I bring that up to my co-hosts and they go, oh, that's not it. I go, you're two educated people. Okay, one of them, you say that you're very smart and astute. I go, how are you seeing this and not saying anything that is into the contrary, you know? But that's the way it is. With that being said, I think it's time for Asset 4. Let's bring that on up.
Everyone, look, we've helped them all out of poverty.
Yes, Bernie, as rich socialists, we did it.
People over profits, Medicare for all.
The revolution is here.
We did it. Everyone is out of poverty.
Yes, a victory for the people.
Thank you. Hooray! Forward together.
For everyone. Yeah, keep going. Oh, wait, who are we kidding?
The only people we helped was our Socialist Party.
And not a single person. We just lied.
Viva la revolution!
So telling.
Yeah.
So
100%.
telling. So telling. How do they have all this money? And Bernie Sanders, I think, has 4 homes.
He has
3
4 homes. The guy's never worked a day in his life.
Never worked a day in his life. All he goes, pray, you know.
Yeah.
And it's just amazing how they are hornswoggling everybody into believing this narrative.
Yeah.
You know, and we will get into it in a little bit. How the far left has got a problem with AOC. I don't think they have a problem with Bernie Sanders, because I think Bernie Sanders is still far enough on the left, and he's not showing his convictions back to the center. But you know, they've got a big problem. And there's a lot of infighting, as we're going to be getting.
They feel threatened.
They feel very, very threatened. And anybody, and I don't know if if you're arguing with somebody that's a liberal, and you're this and you're that and you're Nazi and you're Hitler and well, apparently you were going to almost have a guy run that actually had a Nazi sign on his chest.
Swastika.
Tattooed
to his chest.
And I thought, well, he changed his mind. No, he didn't change his mind. You got all in like that. No. I don't want a T-shirt. I want it carved into my chest.
Yeah, exactly.
You know.
Right. Yeah.
And if he changes his mind, he can always get that shit covered up.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, exactly.
A man covered in tattoos. I know this.
You know a thing or two about.
Well, I know a thing or two about tattoos.
And Elizabeth Warren, he seems like a nice man.
Yeah.
We should rally around him. And Bernie, and it's just so pathetic what they're doing, these people, and how out in the open they are about this.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they don't, people don't get it.
It's disgusting. Like literally, the guy is an admitted Nazi. And they just brush it off. They brush it off. But anything from the right, if you misspeak in a speech, they're gonna catch on to everything you say, even if you misspoke something.
Oh, absolutely.
And now you're a Nazi.
Look what they did to Elon Musk when he just went like that.
Yeah.
It was not a Nazi.
He go like this.
Right.
If you wave at the people the wrong way, they think
Right.
you're in the Nazi.
We will touch on that and more when Red, Right, and True continues in 3 minutes. We'll see you then.
Me, Joe the Box, the America First warehouse, most patriotic place in all the land. Hey, I'm here getting cleansed up. You know why? Because Sugar Creek Goods is a great place by patriots, making patriot soaps, making me smell nice. And that's what's nice. Who wants to go down the street and smell of somebody bad in New York City? Hey, by the way, what's this thing for?
250 years ago, a nation was born. Built on courage, driven by freedom, defined by patriots who stood their ground. Today, we don't just remember that legacy, we wear it. This is more than a shirt. It's a symbol of strength, freedom, and pride. I'm Steve Stern, COO of theflagshirt.com, and I invite you to celebrate 250 years of the United States with us. Wear your pride, stand for something, get your shirts today.
You know what is more disappointing than Gino Bisconte, everyone?
My sex life?
No, bad cell service. Let's make fun of Gino. Oh, wait, he's here.
Well, speaking of the opposite of his sex life, these people have towers that are huge, and they're everywhere. And while you're traveling, you can use these huge towers. PatriotMobile.com/, it bends to the right, I don't have to tell you, TAFW. And then you can talk about me behind my back.
Patriotic people doing patriotic things.
Corporate transfer. Fine, professional, moving and storage, and inventory management.
Are you a true American? Then it's time to get connected. Download the America First Media and Television app and stay up to date with real news, bold voices, and live events from the America First Warehouse. From national broadcasts and exclusive shows to comedy nights, concerts, and special events. It's all right at your fingertips. No filters, no spin, just America First. Download the America First Media and Television app today and be part of the movement.
It's me, Joe the Box. And I'm John the Blanket with the America First podcast.
That's what I'm talking about. The Fred Rubino podcast coming to you from the America First warehouse.
Welcome, everybody, to the James Justice Show, tearing these airwaves apart with all the craziness that goes on in the world.
Welcome to the Patriots podcast. Good evening, everyone.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the On the Right Side podcast here at the America First warehouse in Long Island, New York.
Shane Jenkins here with another episode of Liberty's Cage.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to our podcast, Red, Right, and True.
We are streaming live on America First Media and Television app.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, Kevin Downey Jr. podcast. Be free, stay free.
The America First warehouse, where our hearts will always be.
Welcome back to Red, Right, and True. Thank you for joining us. We got Mark White out in Zoom land. We have Mike Keegan. We got Keith Fitz with us. And what we'd like to discuss, we're going to keep our conversation going regarding democratic socialism. And basically, you have these people that are saying, well, we need, democratic socialism will work. And not really, it will not. You have and this is the key thing, eradication of incentives. Incentives as a human being that you want to progress yourself, and you are being held under constraints where you cannot.
Yeah.
And that is a big, that's one of the most key issues. Shortage and quality decline. Suppressing prices and offering free queues on lower quality. Basically, it's going to be run by the government. The government does not work efficiently. I brought this up about the supermarkets. These supermarkets that men down, they're going to be great. They're going to be fantastic. They're going to be a debacle. You are not going to get the quality of food. You might not also get the quantity or the selection that you want. Now, here's the thing that these democratic socialists don't work. Supermarkets are making a big margin, and it's no, it's not. A supermarket runs on a 4% margin. Guys, we're all in business. Think of a 4% margin. I don't get up in the morning and do anything unless I'm making 15 to 20. I go for 35.
Sure.
That's a capitalist way. And why? Yes, I do want a new boat. However, I've got to pay transportation charges. I've got to pay warehousing fees. I've got to pay the warehouse guys. Everybody's got to get their take of that. So when you talk about how are they going to do this on a 4% margin on inventory that's mainly perishable?
That's what it is. It stifles financial mobility. Like, even look at the buildings that Mamdani wants to build in the city. They all have to be green, and you have to only hire brown people and gay people. But it's got to be green. Who's going to pay for all that? And you got to hire union workers. Who do you hire to do stuff?
The union workers.
White union workers.
Yeah.
Whether or not,
And with that, basically, everything has got to be electric. Now, I'm in the plumbing industry. Yeah. That's how I make my money. Okay, I sell gas connectors. Okay, they are getting rid of. How am I going to sell gas connectors? It's going to kill our market. Absolutely. We do have the plumbing union lobby going to bat for that, but gas is more efficient. It cooks better. How many restaurants in New York City rely on gas to cook? Because it makes the food better. You could cook the food evenly. You could chefs use gas. Also, another thing with gas, I believe I'm grandfathered. My stove works fine. It's a gas stove. But now, if I have to get a new stove when this law passes for New York State, this is city now on all new construction. But if it passes for the city as a whole, and you have to go get a new stove, you've got to probably get an electric stove. Well, it's just an electric stove. Hold on. Now, I have to bring an electrician in, rig it to 220, have them hook it up, and that's another $1,000 over the cost of the stove.
Screw that. I'm bringing in my barbecue into the house. I don't care about the carbon monoxide. I'll just pass out.
Ask the lead singer of Boston.
I'll take it now. I'll go to sleep.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah, the lead singer of Boston did that, and it was more than a feeling. So anyway.
Yes.
But
what about the congestion pricing? Is that still going on?
The congestion pricing?
Yes,
it
the
is.
congestion pricing is going on. And
Well, you know what that does, right?
That makes more smog, I guess.
That penalizes the poor people. Now they can't drive into the city. Only the rich people get to drive into the city.
Absolutely.
That doesn't sound like socialism.
And they're
to
leaving
me.
the city anyway.
We're going to be discussing that. Now they're leaving. The problem with that too is you have to bring a truck. You have to pay the toll to get through the bridge or under the tunnel. Now you've got to pay congestion pricing. And I love the Democrats, but they'll love to pay for that. That won't be a problem. It'll be no, they're not. They're going to pass the cost off
Right.
to the food. And to tell you the truth, those trucks have to get into the city to the the city-run stores as well, which means that's going to enhance, on their margin.
They have a total inability to look at the big picture. They see, oh, it's going to be good here, but they don't realize 3 steps down the road, it's going to cost everybody money, and it's going to run out of money, and they're not able to see that. It's
Also, fiscal sustainability.
Yeah.
I mean, trying to sustain that on how they're doing it and how run it's going to be. These places are going to be closed. The food, I guarantee that the food in that place will be way past the expiration date.
Yeah.
And you think the inspectors are going to come in and go, oh, this food is not good, shush, or you're out of a job.
Yeah, and the people that are making these decisions, Mamdani and San, these are guys, like I said, they've never had a job in their life. And these are guys like Mamdani ran on giving away free stuff, and the Jews still hate him. That's because they know business.
Right.
It's not going to work.
Yeah.
It's not going to work. We don't like you. It's not going to work.
And
sounds good.
Yeah. And my fell out. I don't need to hear a damn thing. The liberals think I don't. But the Democratic Socialists are having a very big problem, and they're starting to eat their own. And one of the ones that they're starting to eat is going to be AOC. And they are having a very big problem with her because she's, believe it or not, hooking up with the mainstream Democrats. And they don't like that. And their political pragmatism over purity. Hard left socialists were furious when she endorsed moderate Democrat Rep. Julie Johnson in 2026 instead of a progressive outsider. And I got to hand it to ALC on this, I mean, she's, as much as you think she's drinking the Kool-Aid, she's not sipping it that much. Stances on Israel. We know how the Democrat socialists feel about Israel's right to exist, and she has her support for the Iron Dome funding and her efforts to combat anti-Semitism. That's a big no-no. Presidential ambitions, as speculation grows about a potential AOC 2028 presidential run. Oh, could you imagine her and Kamala running together? It would be the new edition of Dumb and Dumber.
It would be hilarious.
Yeah.
Imagine her debating J.D. Vance. Look what happened. Look what happened in Munich when they tried to have her talk for 3 seconds, unscripted. Imagine her against J.D. It would be amazing.
Imagine her debating a clothes tree.
Right.
The clothes.
Exactly.
Well, apparently the clothes tree won the nomination. We can something to hang on, and that's good because it'll be something to hang our hat on. But and she's trying to build goodwill with the wider Democratic Party is a dangerous path. And also another thing that is kind of scary, and I never thought I would say this, but it is actually the truth. Okay, Nancy Pelosi, as hateable as she is, okay, was good in the fact that she rounded up the squad. She kept them in line. She's got no control over them, but she kept them in line. She called when they were starting with all the far left rhetoric. They called her to Washington and sat them down and said, Ixnay on the Ixnation Bay,
Yeah, she was like the madam at the brothel.
Yeah.
Yes.
But the whole thing is like AOC for president. It's like she has a lack of a legislative impact. She's failed to secure major progressive policy. This is them, them complaining about her. As if we don't have enough to complain about her on the right. She has done nothing for her constituents. She blew that Amazon deal.
Oh my God! Yeah. She saved Queens from a lot of high-paying jobs. That's the only thing she saved with that.
They're a big company that don't care about people. They're putting a humongous warehouse in that neighborhood. They're going to hire a ton of people.
That's where
okay,
we're going.
the businesses around it,
The mom and pop coffee shops
are going to make a fortune. Yeah. How is this a problem? And Amazon, to their credit, was very good. Well, we're thinking about, but this and that. Well, you understand, but all right, we're going. See ya.
Yeah.
And absentee representation, they're complaining in her district that she's never there. You can't get an appointment with her. She's got this rock star attitude. She's flying around on these jets that pollute with Bernie Sanders, and she's a hypocrite.
$20,000 pantsuits on.
Yeah. Also, foreign policy. I mean, you heard her on foreign policy.
Yeah.
I mean, she's totally. You know, I love
She's
it.
illiterate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, all the other countries hate us. Well, if AOC gets in, they're going to be laughing their ass off.
Yeah, they'll love us because they'll have something to laugh at all the time.
That's right.
It's going to like have
It'll be the sitcom.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. I know. I love it.
Oh God.
Oh, America, season 5.
the final season.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. With a bird brain running it, you know.
That's right.
And the thing about it, and I got in an argument with my old show about this. I go, AOC is a bird brain. She's stupid. She is not. She graduated from college. She's got a degree in this and degree in that. Okay. There's a guy you know, works for the Long Island Railroad, electrical engineer, makes 6 figures. Highly intelligent person. You pull him out on the street, he is as dumb as they come. He could, I mean, he goes to the airport and throws bread at the planes because he thinks they're birds. That's how stupid he is. But book smart, the man is absolutely brilliant. Yeah. You know, and also they have a thing like we discussed before. Graham Plattner has dropped out of the race. You know, I mean, you could be a Nazi, and
So they did not see that coming.
yeah, and you could have all that.
So we
fun.
wave bye to him?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Bye-bye. But they got a replacement for him. They're trying to get in. His name is Troy Jackson. That's his name, Troy Jackson. And there was a great column, there was a great article in the Post where the Democratic Party are trying to get all these folksy guys in that, they're folksy and stuff like that. Troy Jackson, my mistake. He is a blue-collar guy. He was a lumberjack. I was also a lumberjack, which we had, but that's not going to sway me. And, it seems that he's a nice guy, but I think it's a little too late. And he's faced questions regarding his past support on his policies. He withdrew his endorsement immediately when the credible sexual assault allegations emerged, calling it a bright red line. It's like, yeah, humana. With me,
that folksy stuff. Look how that worked with Tim Walz, Coach Walz.
No,
he's an old American guy. Can't throw baseball.
I like to sit by the fire after hunting, and I believe there should be tampons in boys' rooms. I mean, if a young'un goes in there and he feels that, it's that time of the month, even though he has a penis, he's got every right there to sit down. You're out of your mind. You're out of your mind. And this mental patient was going to be vice president. Yeah. Embarrassing. Totally embarrassing. But that's the world we live in right now. So we are going to have more stuff coming right up as we go into the fourth section of Red, Right, and True. Stay tuned. We'll be with you in 3 minutes. See you then.
The America First Ultra MAGA Store. For all your MAGA needs. We sell t-shirts, tumblers, flags, hats, sneakers, bumper stickers, and a whole lot more. The most patriotic America First retail store. The America First Ultra MAGA Store.
It's me, Joe the Box, the America First Warehouse, most patriotic venue in all the land.
The America First Warehouse, a beacon for all to see, a symbol of unity. For the patriots of America, we stand tall and free. In the America First Warehouse, where our hearts will always be.
Hey, Paul, I was having a pillow fight with Gino's wife. Me too. Yeah.
She's
I
not
was
supposed
there.
to stay
I
up that
remember.
late.
I have the video. And now let me tell you, talk about soft. When I think soft pillows, I think of other than Gino's wife, mypillow.com, because these are the best pillows you're ever going to get. You can go to mypillow.com /TAFW. Go now, get your My Pillow right now.
Are you a true American? Then it's time to get connected. Download the America First Media and Television app and stay up to date with real news, bold voices, and live events from the America First Warehouse. From national broadcasts and exclusive shows to comedy nights, concerts, and special events. It's all right at your fingertips. No filters, no spin, just America First. Download the America First Media and Television app today.
I got to tell you, a lot of my followers are asking, hey, Midnight, where are you getting all that energy from? I say, you want to know the truth? I take about 25 milligrams of Adderall a day. But that eventually ends, and then that's where Agara coffee comes in. I start drinking this stuff, and it boosts my energy. It shoots me right through to the moon. If you're not drinking Agara coffee and you need that extra boost during the middle of the day, I'm telling you right now, get this into your system, and I promise you that it will absolutely take you to a whole nother level. Midnight, I am out. 1, 2, 3. Woo!
America First Warehouse was really the most patriotic venue that you can ever imagine. We wanted to build something for people to be able to come to and feel so comfortable and so relaxed, because there is nothing out there like it. We give an opportunity for people to really feel good about themselves and about this great country.
Good evening and welcome to the last segment of Red, Right, and True. I have Mark White over in the Zoom land. I have got Mike Keegan and Keith Fitz. And as we go into the last portion of our show, I would like to go into Asset 5. A liberal woman doesn't understand a starter job. We got to find out what's going on.
Every time the conversation around a living wage comes up, I ask a question that I have yet to receive a proper answer for, so I'm going to ask it again, because every time we try to talk about how everyone is deserving of a living wage, people come crawling out of the woodwork to say, well, jobs like McDonald's and Taco Bell and the grocery store aren't meant to be living wages. They're meant for teenagers as like starter jobs. Okay, so then why are places like McDonald's, Taco Bell, and the grocery store open during the school year, roughly between the hours of 7 a.m. and 3 p.m. when all of the teenagers are at school? Who was making your McGriddle when you went there at 9 a.m. on a random Tuesday? Bethany. I've yet to have anyone answer this question.
I'll answer it for you. Retirees.
Yes.
People who just need to get out every once in a while. I mean, what is she thinking?
Exactly.
She skipped over the whole over 65 crowd that works there during the day. I worked at McDonald's and they were in there.
Yeah, and
hit the nail on the head.
Yeah, and it's like, well, the people are in school. Well, you got college kids too, you know. And the whole thing, it's also this big thing where, you know, people need to make a living wage. No, they don't. That job was designed with a price point for kids that are in school, senior citizens, and that's it. I mean, it's part-time hours. You can work part-time. There's a low skill requirement.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not. I mean, you don't have the skills in there.
No, it builds a skill. It's supposed to build your skill set. It's supposed to build punctuality and responsibility as you're forming in your formative years. Like when she said,
Right.
When you start your job, you're 16, maybe 17. That's 1 year that you're in high school. Other than that, like you said, you're in college. And college kids make their own schedules. They could be at work in the morning or in the afternoon, or like Mark said, retirees.
Yeah, and it's hysterical where they turn around and go, well, we're going to raise the minimum wage. All right, you know what they're going to do? They're going to get a robot in, and there's a robot in there. When you go, have you noticed when you go to the drive-thru, it's like, it's the robot.
Yeah.
And I don't mind because the robot speaks good English.
Better English than the person on the speaker most of the time.
You know, it's like, you went, well, am I doing? I go, may I have my, but ma'am, welcome to Taco Bell. May I have your roll? I love a Pete. I love this. All right, it's worth paying that much for the burrito. You know?
Exactly.
But when
There's
you go
there's
inside,
another thing too you have to remember. If you ask them exactly what a living wage is, they will not be able to answer you.
There you go.
Yeah.
Just ask them what number would make you happy for a living wage in New York City, and they would not be. So that would be any job.
Yeah,
So give me a
you're right.
number that would make you happy so that you would have a living wage. They won't give you a number because I've asked a few of them that number and they won't give it to me.
Exactly. That makes a lot of sense.
And yeah, and it's like when you well, it's not fair. You know, they have kids, and who told you to have kids when you have a minimum wage job?
Exactly.
Okay, I'll give you an example. I don't have kids, and one of the reasons I didn't have kids is because I wanted to be in the music industry. I wanted to be in the comedy industry. Okay, and that took sacrifices. And I didn't think, and also my wife at the time couldn't raise a goldfish, so I wasn't, I wasn't worried about that. But I knew that I I wanted to do this more. I didn't have the means. I mean, I worked my way up where I had the means, but I didn't know I could afford to have kids, so I didn't.
So you didn't.
You know, it's called a responsibility.
And because they want to, now I have to buy a $17 Big Mac because they decided, you know, I'm still going to have a minimum wage job, but I'm still going to have kids and make everybody else bear the responsibility for it.
Yeah, but even with the way they raised the wages, they took away from the people inside. They took away jobs from people because now you go into these places, there's nobody on the registers anymore.
No.
There's one person, and they walk you over to a kiosk.
Yeah, exactly.
I have a whole comedy bit on this, and it's funny as hell to me that I have to walk 6 steps to the kiosk to pay cash. I have to walk 6 steps back, and I tell them everybody, if they wanted 12 steps, I'd go to AA.
Yeah, that's hysterical.
That is hilarious. And the first question they ask you is like, "Are you using the mobile app?" And they're like disappointed when you say you're not.
No.
Yeah, right.
Like,
Why don't you do it?
Exactly.
No,
But
That's funny too. That's true.
yeah.
I went
into the human being app.
That's right.
I was on the way up to Mohegan one time, and I stopped off at a Burger King, and I go in there, press the button, and I go, "Where's my onion rings?" It's on the burger. What do you mean it's on the burger? You pressed on the burger, but I didn't want it on the burger. Well, you pressed on the. What am I running mission control? I got in a big argument with the guy.
Yeah.
And I go, if I have to push buttons, I go, I want a small sack of free onion rings, and I go, but you pushed. You wanted. I go, one more word out of you, you're going to be pushing cops. I go, I am not. I want. You know, why can't you do the job? It's very simple. Hi, I'd like the Big Mac, a value meal. Could you supersize? And I would like a side order of onion rings. And you could push the damn button.
Yeah. This isn't a starter job for me. I shouldn't be the one working.
Right. No. And apparently I don't possess the skills because I'm a customer. This is why I go on an airliner. I don't know how to fly a plane, but there's a guy with a hat and a jacket that has these bars. I don't know what they mean, but it means he can fly the plane.
Exactly.
You know, it's just ridiculous what we have to put up here. You know, but also. Stick it across. Basically, Mayor Mamdani, I think he gets up in the morning and goes, "How do I piss people off?" And, how do I piss people off? He's got that voice and that smug look.
It's smugness. And when idiots are smug, it makes it so much worse.
He reminds you of the frat guy at a party that tries to pick up your chick. Yeah. But what it is that he drew up, I don't know, you guys know, he drew up the map of the ethnic areas of New York City, and he wound up leaving off where the Jews are. He left off Little Italy. He left off the Irish areas. And what he didn't understand was these are 3 groups of people that love to complain.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he goes, you know, he's like, well, we have to revisit the map. I bet he got a call and said, you know, it's a nice map.
like that map you got
Be
there.
ashamed something happens to it. You know,
exactly. Because you know what it is? They're the Irish and the Italians and the Jews. They built this country.
I was just going to say.
Not the Ugandans.
You know, I would get Jefferson Starship to play on the steps of City Hall. We built this city. We built. But it's very interesting, all the things that he's doing. The crime figures are a lie. He's got the crime figures on there, and if it could find the damn things, then it would be fine. But he put out crime figures that were saying that the crime figures in New York were so low, and they have not been this low in a long time. And then the FBI turned around and he said, "Oh, really? Slow down." So
you know how you can prove him wrong is just go over the Throgs Neck, or go over the Queensboro Bridge, and you'll see he's lying.
Yeah. Let's take a look at the crime facts that they don't know what they're doing. They take a guess. It's called the FBI. All right. So let's look at some fun things here. Murder. Okay. In 2025, there was 19 murders in New York City. And so far in 2026, as of March, there were 24. Rape, 140 in 2025. As of 2026, so far, 158. Robbery, 933 in 25, 982 in 26. Felony assault, was 1917. Now it's 2305. All this is from the FBI. I didn't get this off the internet on my friend that knows stuff. You know.
Oh, those numbers are down though.
Yeah. And the thing about it is crime doing up. Well, we need more police. We're not going to get them because
you're going to defund them.
Defund them. The cops are retiring. The old cops, they're retiring in droves. Yep. They're retiring in droves. And he was supposed to hire on tap another 530 cops. Well, guess what? It's not happening. He's not going to hire them.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's just crazy.
You're not going to see old cops anymore because I can't tell how many friends. I'm in my early 40s now. All my friends that I graduated with that became cops are all put their 20 years in. They're like, I'm not doing 1 year over 20 years. They're going to get us killed out there.
Yeah,
you know?
because there's no support for the cops at all, and he doesn't have the. So we are on this downward slope to hell. That it's like I said, the figures are right here. People don't look to see what the figures are. You know why? Because a lot of people, look, we do a political show. This is our deal. This is what we do. A lot of people don't. They work. They come home. They want to feed the dog, unwind, sit and watch TV, and play with their kids. So they don't do, and then they're not seeing it. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, exactly. As the time is winding down on our show, we'd like to try and see what you're going. Mike, so where are you going to be? And funny thing about Mike is we're all sitting at home, but not this guy. Mike, tell everybody where you're going to be. Go, come on.
Right, how much time we got?
I love this man.
This Saturday night I'll be at, it's called Cast in Southold. It's a fundraiser run by DC Benny, my buddy. And,
good dude.
And it's a really cool venue. It's called Cast, C-A-S-T, in Southold. And then next week I do like a bi-monthly show at Governor's Comedy Club, and it's going to be on the 24th at Governor's Comedy Club in Levittown in the Giggle Room.
Yeah, keep going. You got plenty of stuff.
All right, so let me see.
Plenty of stuff.
Summer's a little slow.
Yeah, it's a little slow. Where are you going to be?
I'm going to go at home on my couch watching the show.
That's good. That's good. Well, I will be at Rodney's Comedy Club on Saturday in the city with Gino. Gino Bisconti has a show on this lovely channel. Gino puts together a show at the end of the month, and I will be there. Check out Rodney'sComedyClub.com, or you could check out my page, JoeCurry.com, or actually JoeCurryComedy.com, or Joe Curry on Facebook. Guys, what are your email your plugs?
Mike Keegan. No, it's Mike Keegan on Facebook, or just Keegan Comedy on Instagram. And one thing I love about Gino's shows, I know the owner from Rodney's. He goes, I love Gino when he has shows here because no matter how many people show up, everybody's drinking for 3 hours after the shows. That's his crowd.
Hysterical. Key, really quick.
And in my business, KeysCutlery.com and KeysLoveJewelry.com, located in Lake Grove at 2860 Middle Country Road in Time Warp Relic Warehouse.
I might stop by. I'm in the market for a samurai saw.
That's right. No problem. You're going to need one with the things going on today.
This is beyond wonderful. My name is Joe Curry, Key Fitz, Mike Keegan. We got Mark White out in Zoom land. This has been Red, Right, and True.
Thank you.